Okay, thank you very much. My talk today is about COL, Computer Assisted Language Learning, and I'd like to share you some ideas on what we need to know about COL. First of all, to better understand what, can I share my, anyone wrong with slides? Okay, so to better understand the value and the meaning of computer-assisted language learning, I would first refer to the digital agenda in the Europe 2020 strategy, because it is a significant frame of reference for the development of computer-assisted language learning. The digital agenda presented by European Commission forms one of the 7 pillars of the Europe 2020 strategy, and the one we are interested in is the pillar 6, enhancing digital literacy, skills and inclusion, because it sets objectives for the growth of the European Union and proposes to better exploit the potential of information and communication technologies in order to foster innovation, economic growth and progress. This digital agenda was anticipated by some very important documents, the UNESCO ICT Competence Framework for Teachers, published in 2011, the Rethinking Education 2012, and Opening Up Education 2013, and last but not least, the document on CLIL, Content and Language Integrated Learning, and COL, Computer Assisted Language Learning, published in 2014. And it was really important for us to make reference for this document, especially if you were to listen to Letizia Cingalonca talk about the enhancing of CLIL technologies nowadays. And then, well, the only thing is that I'd like to go on with my slides. Can I move them? Can I? Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to introduce the what, the why, and how of computer-assisted language learning. The first is what is COL. COL, according to the European Commission definition, is in language learning any process in which the learner uses a computer to improve foreign language competencies. The technology includes not only computers, but also smartphone, tablets, Android devices, and MP3s and wherever. And so, COL therefore includes authentic foreign language materials, such as video clips, animations, podcasts, webcasts, and news, online environments where people can communicate with foreign language speakers through different synchronous and asynchronous communication tools, such as emails, text-based computer-mediated communication, social media, or voice and video conferencing, or language learning tools. So we can refer to this as online apps, software, whatever, and also game-based learning. Can we go on? With next slide, please. Yes. What are the conditions to implement a successful computer-assisted language learning? First of all, we have to refer to the first step, that is teacher training. Teacher training implies a computer-assisted language learning pedagogical design. The second one is an effective adoption and indicators of computer-assisted language learning in teaching. The second step is teaching approaches. We should select online material and should provide comprehensible input or promote acquisition of knowledge and stimulating for the learner. But we also should promote student-centered learning for reducing anxiety and increasing risk-taking. Then, last but not least, a good balance of computer-assisted language learning with more traditional methods. The last one is learning processes, that is, tools from students to construct responses, maximize deep learning, and promote recall of knowledge as opposed to recognition, but also game-based tools that promote interaction and negotiation of meaning. As you know, gamification is gaining successful results in the language learning teaching and language learning and teaching processes, because it's based on the prerequisites of gamification. If you promote a game-based tool, you will really have success. Then the next one. Sorry, Rob, could you? It's okay. how can implement computer-assisted language learning in our teaching and learning processes? Well, to implement, we showed that we could adopt it as a very useful model of technology adoption. The technology model of adoption model has 5 different steps. You can see on the left-hand side a traditional perspective of education technologies that focuses on either the technology itself or a teacher's instruction, as it's limited to the first 3 phases, that is familiarization, utilization, and integration. While the second, on the right-hand side, you can see the contemporary perspectives. That is education. That's one of the education technologies that focuses on learners' active construction of knowledge and can reach all the way of the evolution phase. And so this the 4th and the 5th step. Now let's examine them. The first one is familiarization, and it's about it's concerned with one initial exposure to and experience with a technology. The second one is utilization. It is when a teacher tries out the technology or innovation in the classroom, but if the problem occurs, the technology is usually started quickly. The third one, that is the middle step, that is integration. Integration represents the breakthrough phase. The teacher commits to the technology and it is not expensible. The fourth one is a very important one because it implies a reorientation. Reorientation requires that educators reconsider and reconceptualize the purpose and function of the classroom. The focus is on students' learning and not on the teacher's instruction. And it's very important because we pass from the teacher-centered approach to the student-centered approach. It is very useful nowadays for our students. The last and the most important one is the evolution phase. The evolution phase serves as a reminder that the educational system must continue to evolve and adapt to remain effective. Then we can shift to the next slide, please, Rob. Yes, what does the model of technology adoption means? That we are creating new scenarios. Our task as teachers implies crafting scenarios for 21st century fluency lessons and to activate learning. The best model for our definition can be the Bloom taxonomy. The taxonomy integrated with the technologies. The taxonomy implies different steps. I just see the revised taxonomy by Bloom. And the first one is remembering, then we have the understanding phase, then the applying, the analyzing, and next the evaluating phase, and last but not least the creating. These are the gradual steps that introduce students to the learning activities and consider their style of learning, but most of all, they consider the option of creating at last phase because that's what we want to do when we want to be sure that students acquire the needed competencies to face the world outside. The next slide is about the implementation of these scenarios with technologies. As I said to you before, we have to adopt the model for the integration technologies and we have to respect the different phases. And this is just useful for you to understand how you can pass from the remembering to the understanding and then to applying and then to analyzing and then the evaluating and last but not least the creating phase, implementing that with technologies and web tools, through the internet and social networks or any tools that you can use for a good learning process. Once you have done this, respecting all the different phases, you can pass to the next slide, please, Rob, where you can phase what we are nowadays reflecting on. This is the importance not only to enhance the use of the technologies inside the classroom, that implies the formal activation of learning processes, but also to certificate and validate what informal learning and non-formal learning are gained nowadays because students learn inside the classroom in a formal way, but also outside with associations and friends and families in a non-formal and informal ways. And this is why also the Organization for Cooperation and Economic Development in 2010 published the report recognizes non-formal and informal learning outcomes, policies, and practices because we have to face what our students are new learning learners and digital natives are learning outside the institution framework and situation. So please try always to consider how to integrate non-formal learning and informal learning inside the formal recognition of learning processes. And last, the next slide, please. Yes, what can we gain implementing such a way of teaching and, of course, learning because the two processes are strictly integrated? We can start with exchanging. That is technology used with current teaching approaches, where the learning is, as we said before, teachers directed and classroom located. Then we can pass to enrich internal coordination, and we can use technology to make a differentiated provision within the classroom, supporting a variety of routes to learning. Then we can enhance processing, redesigning the processing, and where the teaching learning redesign incorporate technology building on research in learning and cognition. The learner here is producing that uses network technologies to model and make. Then the fourth, the one of the most important steps before the last one, of course, it is the best. It is the network redesign and embedding. We extend through ubiquitous integrating and technologies to support learner choice and personalization because we have always to consider that each student is different from the others and inside and beyond the classroom. Last but not least, we have the stage of Empower, where we have a redefinition and innovative use of technologies to support the new learning services that go behind the institutional boundaries. The last slide is, Rob, can you just put this one, is just a quick glance of how you can create these different scenarios. So we have the 6 different possibilities. For the first one, that is just from information to independent consumer scenario. The other one that is towards discoveries, and the other one is the diagnosis scenario. So when you can diagnose the potential of our students, you can integrate their experience and activate practice across diverse communities. And the last one is how to process and citizenship scenarios where you can implement it in a wider social sphere. How we can do this just to promote, can we have the last slide please, Rob? We can promote with what we call the passage towards the 21st century's skills, the passage from the skills that are collaborate, communicate, connect, create, together with the literacies of our 21st centuries that are basic literacies, media literacy, information literacy, network literacy, global literacy, and digital literacy that implement together, integrated together, can just enhance the development of a concept. The concept is that of fluency. Fluency is a sort of ability to express oneself readily and effortlessly, and it is not about technical prowess, it is critical thinking, and it is essential to living in our multimedia world. That's why through the combination of skills and literacy, so we can enhance media fluency, information fluency, creative fluency, collaboration fluency, solution fluency, and digital secret fluencies. Just to go back to our first mentioned UNESCO framework that emphasizes that it is not enough for teachers to have ICT skills and be able to teach them to their students, because teachers need to be able to have students become collaborative, problem-solving, creative learners, through using ICT so that they can be effective citizens and members of the workforce. Thank you for listening to me and thanks for inviting me. Can't hear you.